Mamata Banerjee continues to launch a tirade against the Congress after Mamata's bold proclamation that UP is now non-existent. TMC has yet again hit out at the grand old party in its mouthpiece, Jago Bangla. The title of the editorial says Congress isn't deep freezer. It says that in spite of being the largest opposition party, Congress has locked itself in deep freezer. In its veiled attack on Rahul Gandhi, TMC said instead of organizing people's movement, Congress leaders are happily tweeting. Congress's internal squabble over leadership also got mentioned in this article. The article also says that coalition of opposition forces is the need of the hour and Mamata is the most popular and acceptable opposition face. Everyone is looking up to her.
वो बीजेपी पार्टी को दिया हुआ हुक्का पी रहे हैं तो क्या करें, उनको कुछ नहीं दिखाई देते हैं। ये सारे बयानबाजी इसलिए हो रहे हैं कि मोदी जी को खुश रखना चाहिए। अब बताओ, अंक गणित को अगर जरा सा भी उनका ज्ञान रहे और उनकी पार्टी की रही तो ये बताए कि 4% वोट लेकर वो मोदी जी को सत्ता से कैसे हटाइए, ये अंक गणित बताइए।
Indrajit Kundu is getting us more details on that story. Indrajit, Mamata Banerjee is really making no secret of her prime ministerial ambitions, but in the context of what has been going on as far as the tu-tu-me-me between the TMC and the Congress is concerned, do give us an idea about what is the TMC's next plan of action, because they've underscored really the fact, and special even through its mouthpiece, that TMC is the alternate to the BJP and not the Congress, isn't it?
Well, there's no doubt about the fact that the Trinamool Congress is going all guns blazing against the Congress right now. The entire Trinamool Congress leadership, Mamata Banerjee, its National Secretary Abhishek Banerjee, they have all decided to attack the Congress. And we've seen that from Prashant Kishore's tweet yesterday. And Prashant Kishore has, of course, aligned himself with the Trinamool Congress think tank pretty closely, working with the party in Goa and, states like Tripura, where they're actually throwing a direct challenge to the Congress and trying to dislodge the Congress as a principal opposition party in these two states. So clearly, the Trinamool Congress and its mouthpiece today claims that the Congress has lost its mojo, its energy has fizzled out, and it has also hit out indirectly at Rahul Gandhi's leadership, saying each day Congress leaders are coming out and speaking out against the party's leadership. The Congress is too embroiled in dealing with in keeping its own house in order, and therefore at this point in time the opposition, all the opposition parties, the other leaders, they seem to have bestowed their confidence on Mamata Banerjee being the tallest opposition figure right now, and she is the one on whom the opposition leaders have entrusted their faith to lead an opposition coalition. So clearly what we are seeing at this point in time, 2024 long away from now, but Mamata Banerjee and Trinamool Congress wants to capture the opposition space as the principal opposition face against PM Modi and the BJP.
Indrajit, thanks for getting us up to speed with that. Indrajit Kundu with that detailed report on what's been going on as far as the TMC and the Congress and their fight is concerned. Well, as Omicron variant reaches India, states have geared up for preparations. In Delhi, nearly 3,000 international passengers arrived, including from the UK, France and Germany. Out of them, 6 people have tested positive for COVID-19. Delhi government has increased its beds and oxygen supply to tackle any COVID threat. In Tamil Nadu, government has created separate wards at 4 medical college hospitals in Chennai, Trichy, Coimbatore and Madurai. The state has asked all passengers to isolate themselves in their homes. Rajasthan also is on alert after 4 people who recently returned from South Africa tested positive. 5 of their contacts too have been tested positive and in quarantine. The samples have been sent for genome sequencing. In Maharashtra, a 7-day institutional quarantine is mandatory for those arriving from at-risk countries and 7-day home isolation for all those who test negative on arrival. Mustafa Sheikh is getting us more details. He joins us from Mumbai City. Nolan Pinto is at Bengaluru. First to you, Mustafa. Do take us through the guidelines as far as domestic travellers are concerned. What's the very latest? What all do they have to do, if at all they have to enter Maharashtra?
Well, after much criticism, the Maharashtra government last night withdrew this order of them, saying that RT-PCR negative report was required for last 48 hours for domestic passengers who are coming to Mumbai airport and other airports in the Maharashtra. So that's one relief for the domestic flyers. But if you talk about international travelers, the 7-day quarantine period is compulsory, and about 500 to 600 tests which were carried out on international passengers yesterday, out of which 9 passengers have totally 9 passengers till now have tested positive, and their reports have been sent for genome sequencing. So at international airports, you can say in Mumbai airport also, for international travelers, there are strict guidelines. RT-PCR tests are being conducted. At the same time, the main attention is to the genome sequencing report, whether any of them test positive for Omicron variant. Back to you.
That's right. Be with us, Mustafa. Nolan is also with us from Bengaluru. Nolan, as far as Karnataka is concerned, the state, of course, has reported the first 2 cases of the Omicron variant. Just do give us an idea, and this is the question on everybody's mind, really. As far as the 46-year-old healthcare worker is concerned, many are asking that without any travel history, he's been diagnosed with the new and the 5th variant of concern. There is going to be a big task before the state health authorities also to do contact tracking in this case. Take us to the developments when it comes to looking for other patients who could have perhaps contracted Omicron variant of the infection from this index case, possibly the index case.
Now, the one good thing that the Karnataka government, the health department has done is basically in contact tracing. Now, both the 66-year-old man, the South African national, as well as the 46-year-old who is a doctor working in a government hospital in Bengaluru. We are told that once both of them fell sick, the contact tracing was done. The primary contacts as well as the secondary contacts. In fact, because of the contact tracing, the secondary contacts for both the 66-year-old as well as the 46-year-old runs into some 200 odd for both of them. Now, what we're told is that the 66-year-old man, he managed to get a certificate. He did a test in the private lab, it came negative, and he went back to South Africa via Dubai. However, for the 46-year-old individual, we are told that 5 of his contacts have tested positive. They are in isolation. In fact, all are in isolation, especially these 5. Their samples have been sent for genomic sequencing. We should get the details today. The chief minister, who was in Delhi yesterday, reached Bengaluru. When he reached, he spoke to the media. This afternoon at around 1 o'clock, there will be an important meeting with all experts from the Technical Advisory Committee. Based on this, he's waiting for a detailed report that's to come from Delhi, the Union Ministry of Health. Based on that, the experts' advice and the central government's guidelines, then the state will go about with what needs to be done. But they keep saying, do not panic. Follow COVID-appropriate behavior.
Absolutely. No need to panic. COVID-appropriate behavior will go a long way in keeping all variants, including Omicron, at bay. Nolan, thanks for getting us up to speed with that. Well, that report and much more is always going up on our website as well. That's indiatoday.in. You can also always download our app for much more news on Omicron and other developments. For the moment, it's a wrap on this bulletin. Thanks for watching.